Do it, kid. Do your job.
In 3, 2, 1, liftoff.
No. The sky.
Oh, begin.
No.
Welcome to
Paint the sky. Your favorite color.
That's right. There we go.
Welcome, boys and girls, to Old West Tales.
It's so hard.
I'm your host, the Rancher, and with me is Silly the Kid and Marky the Yid.
Silly the Kid and Mark the Yid, along with Clyde the Watch Wrangler. Welcome to the program. Welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. Now, real quick, you know the drill, guys. If you are watching this live, we will be talking to you and engaging in live chat room shenanigans in just a moment. If you are watching this posted up, we will be answering viewer email and viewer questions, and we will be talking Rolex, watch collecting, coronavirus, and the worldwide crisis, all here. Stay tuned. But if you get a little bored with the hijinks and the shenanigans, then what you do is you just scoot ahead 3, 4, 5 minutes, and then you'll get into the meat and potatoes of this video. How's your day today, Clydesy?
Good. I went to the office.
Saturday. Clyde, lawyers don't work on Saturday.
They do when there's money.
Are you telling me that violent crime has returned to Oklahoma? Thank God.
It hasn't completely left, but thankfully it's starting to pick up a little bit.
Perfect. This is good. So new intake for those of you who are new to this channel. Go ahead, Clyde.
Bruce Williams is with us.
Bruce. We'll send him the link. Brucey. Brucey. Bruce. Clyde will send you the link. Can you do that, Clydesy, or do I need to?
No, I don't have his contact.
Ask Bruce.
All right. I'll do it. Bruce, we want you back because based on your last appearance here when your phone kept falling off of your desk, Clyde had some comments that he wanted to make. So there we go. If you can join us, that's great. If you can't, no worries.
It provided us with a nice little element of suspense because we knew it was going to happen. We just didn't know when. So it's like when you first when you're like watching reruns on TV, like late night movies, watch Poseidon Adventure for the first time. It's like, okay, when's the fucking ship going to turn over?
You never know what special guest star may be showing up and when. Okay, so guys, thank you for joining us. And Clyde, you were telling us that you did an intake. Clyde is a defense attorney, so if you feel an overwhelming compulsion to commit a crime, I recommend that you do it in Oklahoma because you don't have the death penalty, do you, Clyde?
Are you kidding?
Well, what is that? What do you mean?
Okay.
You do?
We do. We just haven't done it in a while.
Well, there you go. That's better than Texas. They do it for, they take target practice on prisoners.
Well, if we could do it, we would. The trouble is the last few ones have been ugly. And it's one of those things, believe it or not, it's not like a unwillingness by our judicial system or our penitentiary system. It's simply that
they don't know how to do it.
Large pharmaceutical companies don't want to send us the company. They don't want to be associated with death.
I see. I understand. Well, so what you're saying is that they muffed it up. So it was like death by firing squad and they just like shot the guy's nose off. Like, ugly like that. Yeah.
Well, no, it's like lethal injection, but not the kind that you enjoy.
Okay, moving along. So, Clyde, I hate the fact that you can unmute yourself when I mute you. I thought I had overriding powers here. Anyway, McKenzie, I know that you are working from home. You work. You want to sort of, without getting too detailed. You don't want to name your company or anything, but like, what kind of work do you do there, Billy the Kid, McKenzie?
I work sports industry. So sports
now, I know what you heard at home was, but McKinley is going to go ahead and translate that in English for us. Go ahead, McKinley.
Can you hear me?
A little. Get close to the mic and then talk loud.
Yeah, I work in the sports license industry.
There you go. Did you get to meet any sports figures? Have you met anybody cool at a party or a junket?
I got to go to Super Bowl Live in Miami.
Super Bowl what? Live?
LIV, yeah.
Yeah, was that like 57 or something? 54? Yeah. What is that? 54. That's pretty cool. As a grown homosexual man, I have to confess I don't know when that was. That this year? When last year? When was that?
Yeah, it was in February.
Okay, so we know who won that one, although I don't even really know who played in that one. But what's your favorite position? Wide receiver or tight end?
Quarterback.
Quarterback. All right, nice. Okay, so guys, I want to thank you for having joined the show today. We're going to move into a little bit of watch talk. Clyde, I'm going to read a letter and then, stop me if you've already heard this one. Oh, Bruce is here. Let me let him in. Hold on. This should be good. Welcome, Bruce. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks,
Bruce.
guys. Thanks for having me back.
Bruce Williams.
Hey, Bruce.
What's up?
Bruce, you sound extraordinarily strong, like you're using a professional grade mic. Has something changed in your system since the other day?
No, it should be the same. I can talk a little softer, if that helps.
It sounds like amazingly. No, you sound great. And
Good.
Now, for the punters who haven't seen this, you joined us the other day, and your phone fell off the table like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
What have you done differently today? Have you stuck it in a block of Play-Doh or something? What have you done?
So, yeah, I did something different because I'm using my phone, and the headphones, of course, plug in at the bottom. So, so when I'm propping it up, it's just precarious. So I have it on some foam, like what is it called? Like it's like for audio when you're putting it up on the wall, so you don't get a lot of echo. I've got it in that, so
yeah. Nice.
we should be okay today.
I think.
But Bruce, I think a lot of us like the unpredictability of it. So what I'd like for you to do, since your phone is stabilized, I want you to pick a random interval of time, and then just without warning, just throw yourself to the floor.
Yeah, since your phone isn't going anywhere, we would like you to have a seizure, approximately every 7 or 8 or 9 minutes. Is that?
You know what, Clyve? If you make me laugh hard enough, I'm sure I would probably fall on the floor.
Well, so. Clyde, you got your homework cut out for you, Clyde. All right, so let's go around the block and do the quick fist watch check. I'm doing a watch that Bruce has reviewed, but then again, Bruce, you haven't. There is nothing that you haven't reviewed. Absolutely nothing. Oh, are we wearing the same one? No, you're not wearing it. But
no, I just picked mine up. I have it on the desk here.
Nice.
So.
I don't. You know what? Every once in a while, it just fills the bill, scratches an itch. This watch, I feel like I can't.
With you.
I look at it once in a while and I think I'm gonna sell it, and then I think I can't quit you, and I just keep it. So.
No, let me tell you something, Mark. If you sell it, you got to get the gold one because it's so much funner. It's so much stupider.
I'm so worried. I'm so worried that
it's dang cool.
I'm so worried that it's going to look like gold tone. Like fake gold.
Yeah, it's a little muted. Like it's not super shiny, super yellow.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun.
Now,
I'll send you mine. You can check mine out.
All right. Well, that's great. And if you'd like, I'll swap you. But then again, you had this one.
I don't know. Can you catch coronavirus from exchanging watches?
Well, we steam them, Clyde. That's what we do. We just basically let them sit in a pool of vodka for like 10 minutes, and that cleans up absolutely everything.
Super chat.
Kid, the old man beat you to it. Tommy D, $4.99. This is way too hetero for this channel, but you've got a serious Martin Tyler thing going on there, Mark. And, although I very much appreciate the contribution to the dog food fund, Tommy, I really do. And I don't mean to say anything rude, but I will tell you, I have no idea who Martin Tyler is whatsoever. Let's start with Bruce. Who's Martin Tyler, Bruce?
There's another super chat.
I'll get there.
You got me too. I've never heard of that guy. I'm assuming it's a guy.
Clyde?
There's another super chat. Please read that.
Okay.
Manza.
Wait. Aren't they the same?
Yes, but you've been paid to read each one.
This is way too hetero for this channel, Mark, but you've got a serious Martin Tyler thing going on there, Mark. So 2 identical super chats for the same amount of money, Tommy. Once again, thank you. Clyde, who is Martin Tyler? You don't know.
Nope,
I know you don't know.
No, I have no idea.
All right, well, we're going to Silly the Kid because certainly he knows. We have a millennial with us, and we're going to depend on him for the answer. Silly the Kid, who is that?
He's just like a soccer announcer.
Oh, there you go.
English, primarily.
All right. Okay, so look, he's making his way towards the goal. He's kicked it. The other guy has headbutted it. Oh, my God, he's fingered him right in the arse, and it's a goal! Yes, but not in the goal post that it was supposed to be, in the bad place. I think that's what Tommy D, that was for you. Thank you so much.
One. One.
No, Don isn't here, so you can't type one. Okay, moving along. Clyde, what are you wearing? We need that quick fist watch check from you, sir.
I changed my avatar to what I'm wearing.
Oh, nice. Well, I gotta get really close. It looks like a Speedy, like the old lady Speedy. Is that right?
Yeah.
Is that the Hesselite?
Yes, it does. The reference number is 105.012-66.
Nice.
What's the movement in there?
What's the what?
How's that movement? When a dog trainer says, what's the movement? How's the movement? The other dog trainer answers, in the following way: Lincoln log, soft serve, or liquid. There's only one of those is good. But talking horologically, how's that movement, Clyde?
It's a very nice movement. I enjoy my movement the first thing in the morning, actually.
What are you wearing, kid?
I bet it's a Seamaster 300.
Oh, the Seamaster, not wearing a Doxa whatsoever. Steve Kinsella asks real quick, Mark, how is the new dog book coming? And it is coming along fast and furious. It is now available in my new book is called The Art of Training Your Dog. It is a 6-week program from naughty all the way through full off-leash control of a dog and problem solving, behavior problem solving. Only 6 weeks to full bore training and management. And it's available right now for pre-order in Amazon. We still have a few finishing touches, but they moved it right along. And so, yeah, doing good. Free the puppy. Well, no, we're going to keep McKenzie right where he is. We don't want him freed at all. He would just get himself into a little bit of trouble. Nick says he's got a Hulk purchased in 2020. Do you think it'll be more collectible now that they're not coming out too much this year? Well, let's talk real quick to Bruce, because Bruce, you have one also 2020.
Yep, I got a March 2020 Hulk on wrist right now. And I think it's going to be very collectible because we're hearing that the sub is getting refreshed as soon as Rolex, rolls that out, is able to do that. Most likely, 2021 January.
Show it again, Bruce.
Is what we're hearing. So if you've got a 2020 Hulk right before it gets updated, that is a fantastic purchase in my opinion. I don't think you can go wrong at all.
Meanwhile, Mark has the more common, ordinary, some might say plebeian 2019 model.
Exactly. I feel a little bit left out. And Bruce, yours is dated what day?
St. Patrick's Day, man. I had to buy a green watch on St. Patrick's Day.
That's like an incredible thing. And so Nick Federico, I do. I personally think it's going to be a little like the 1943 D penny. It's just going to be really unusual, rare. You don't come across it often. There really has never been any precedent for any sort of thing like this, so we don't have anything to compare to. But guys, Rolex collectors, if there's a fat 4, an open 6, if there's a tiny mistake on a bezel which causes it to oxidize and crack, it becomes known as the spider dial. I mean, we latch on to any weird little thing that we humanly can. So honestly, I think that's going to be like a big deal.
Oh yeah, or like the 1530. The 1530 that they made less than 1,500 of.
McKenzie, you started to your avatar began to quiver and shake. What were you going to add there?
No, I love how Rolex has the errors and the different variations of dials. That makes it a collector's piece.
Hey, McKenzie, I got a question for you, man.
Hey, what's up?
So I know you said you're wearing the Seamaster today. And I believe you have a Black Bay 58 as well, right?
Yeah, man.
So if you could only have one, which one do you personally prefer?
Geez, that's tough.
Wow. I know what really I would take out of that. I know what I would stick with out of that mess, but McKenzie, that's a good question. Go ahead. Snap decision. The house is on fire. You can only save one of the babies.
I think I would take the 58.
Really?
Because it's a lot harder to get. The proportions are amazing. It's super thin. It's kind of like a 5513 sub, like a vintage sub.
Do you wear one more than the other?
I wear the Seamaster more, actually.
Okay. Maybe I think Mark's probably more leaning towards the Seaman. Sorry, the Seaman.
Clyde, I just muted you for 2 seconds to just slow you down a little bit because I had a feeling you were going to say something naughty. But continue, sir.
That's all I said.
I thought so. Well, oh, by the way, McKenzie wanted your contact information. So, with your permission, Bruce, I will give it to him later. Mostly because he's fangirling over you. I don't know if you know this, but you have fans, Bruce. And
no, I'm into the Seiko, the SLA 033.
Yeah.
Apocalypse Now.
Yeah. So you're looking at that one?
Yeah.
I might be able to find you a good deal on one of those. So
you still have it?
Yeah, no, definitely, Mark. Share my contact information with McKenzie and with Clyve as well, if you'd like.
Certainly will. Okay, Clyde, sorry, go ahead.
I just said absolutely.
Nice. Okay, we have a question up here from Paul Villieu. Question: what is the supply and demand equation you're applying that will make the Hulk a future collectible? The Hulk, I think he means the Hulk, certainly isn't rare. Anyone with a few extra shekels can acquire that watch. So I have an opinion on that. I do have an answer in my mind, but let me throw that open to the panel, and I'll go last. So let's start with let's go youngest to oldest, and that would be me as the oldest. Silly the kid. What do you think about that? Hulk, collectible and common or not?
I think it'll always be collectible, especially if it gets discontinued. And if they update the movement, the 3135 will be more collectible for sure.
Now, next in line towards maturation would be Bruce Williams.
Yeah. So the thing that I love about the Hulk is it is the brand color. And if you think of one watch from Rolex, most people think of the Submariner. So it's their icon line with their iconic color all put into one. And yeah, it's technically just another color, right? That's the only difference between that and the black one, but it's a big difference. And the fact that everybody wants it and they're a lot harder to come by from an authorized dealer. I know you said you could, spend a little bit extra more, spend that $4,000 premium to get one. I think it will definitely become a collectible, especially after they update it. And let's say they reserve green only for yellow gold. They change it a little bit. And this is a watch that has had a decade production run over the long term. That's just going to be really collectible, more so than it is right now. And it already is pretty hot right now.
And I know I said we'd go in order, but we're going to go to the old man first. Thank you for that, Bruce. Clyde, give us your assessment of, is the Hulk really common, and will it not be?
Than I am, Mark. So.
Oh well, all right. Then it's your turn.
You are okay.
Is your turn.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, here's the thought. I'm just going to come out of left field here. How much do you like the effing watch? It's one thing to have secondary resale value or collectability in mind, but I don't think that should be the primary reason why you buy a watch. Frankly, I buy what you love, Paul. Buy what you love, and quite frankly, right now, there's this echo I hear. I just like to say,
I'm the luckiest man in the world.
Yeah. So, Paul, and to be honest, I think right now they are super sought after, even despite everything else right now. But I think you're trying to be limited to whichever one you can get your hands on. So if you get it, if they switch it around, if you get it beforehand, if you love the watch, good job. If you're not able to get one and you're only able to get one after they change it with the slimmer case, slimmer lugs, and a newer movement, if that's what you really want, good job.
See, I think Paul's starting with a false assertion. And that false assertion is the Hulk certainly isn't rare. And I believe that to be false, and I'll tell you why. Well, nothing is rare in the sense that there is any watch that you want can be found in abundance at the unauthorized dealer, which is to say the gray market. So sure, there are places that, dealers that are holding on to 3, 4, 5 Hulks. You could buy one tomorrow. You could buy 5 of them on eBay right now. So from the standpoint of rarity, no, they're not rare in the terms of are they available, but they are extremely rare at MSRP. Extremely rare.
Well, on the other hand, one of the things I was talking about with Archie long time ago, early on, I had a white Milgauss, and he had, of course, the Polar Explorer, and we had a long-running discussion on which one was the bigger dog, and which one was going to be collectible. And Archie's his opinion at the time was, well, you have to keep in mind, modern Rolex, they crank those things out. It's not like the old days where they just made a few hundred a year. So anything that's made currently,
you just can't find that watch at MSRP, or let's just say it's really, really tough. They got to like you a lot to sell you a Hulk at MSRP. The same is true of the Daytona. Would you like a Daytona? Would you like a Blue Dial Sky Dweller? You can go out and buy 10 of them tomorrow if you would like to spend, $500,000. No big deal. Well, $250,000 anyway. Be no big deal to do that. So they are findable. They are rare as hen's teeth at MSRP. So let's not get confused about the relative terms there. And will the supply and demand continue? Well, that's a valid question. And the answer is, I don't know. I would expect so, but look, why do the gray market dealers have so many Hulks? Because people buy them and flip them. They're tempted by that differential between MSRP and flippability. So they own the watch for a few days and then they flip it and make a quick few $1,000s. And I bought it. Go ahead, Clyde.
And in automotive terms, the Hulk is an unlimited flip differential.
I really like the watch. I just want to keep it. So anyway, thank you for that. Now I missed a super chat from Booster. It was a rude one, right in the Booster tradition. Thank you, Booster. Can we replace Bruce Williams with Don Haynes? And the answer is no. Although I did invite Don. I did invite Don.
So Booster, would it help if I shaved my head? Could I stay then? Right.
And let's see. Somewhere up there we had a comment from Matt Stevens that I wanted to highlight, but I've lost it. He says, "Kid, you sure do have passion."
Appreciate it.
Oh, hey, could I say something, Mark?
Please.
So actually, I think I was talking to you maybe a year or so ago, and I was saying, hey, I think I'm going to buy the Bluesy next, the two-tone Bluesy sub. And you were the one that said, you know what? Why don't you just go for the Hulk if you can get one? And so I think, you kind of opened my eyes to thinking, hey, maybe I can get something that's really hard to get. So I think I have to thank Mark in large part for me acquiring the Hulk, because I was thinking Bluesy, which is not a bad watch, but in the long run, the Hulk is the better purchase of the two. So thanks, Mark.
Yeah, no, you're welcome. And I also felt that your authorized dealer might cut you a break and stick you somewhere in that list, because how many people can talk about their buying experience and influence thousands of people just by talking about the buying experience. So I thought it was a good move for them to do it. Who'd you buy it from, Bruce?
So my local AD is called OC Tanner. They have a couple locations here, and they are the Rolex and Patek exclusive dealers in Utah. So they're the only place that I could go to get one at MSRP. And they're really great too. Really nice store, really good staff. So
and this is not a paid endorsement. And I got mine from James & Sons in Orland Park, Illinois, also with a couple locations. So they're smart to sell to people like us. But then again, I don't know. I found the same thing you did. The authorized dealer, when you get to know the authorized dealer, it's just usually a small family business run by some very, very, very dedicated people. And anyway, so now I would like to go ahead and read a letter. We have a few letters. And we're going to need to get to them because, Clyde, we don't know. This is a pre-game Nanza, and we don't know what time Archie Luxury is going to go on, do we, Clyde?
It's like the horn of Damocles.
The horn of Damocles. It's true. It's swinging over our head. We don't know when it will fall. It's sort of like you're going under the guillotine, and the executioner loses count, and starts over. You just don't know when it's going to happen. Okay, this letter is from Jay Owen. Dear Mark, James here from sunny England. Today makes a pleasant change. So we got the weather report out of England from yesterday. I'm a big fan of your episodes. Did you know that these are not videos, guys? These are episodes. God, the English speak so eruditely, don't they? In fact, I'm going to read the rest of this in an English accent. I'm a big fan of your episodes. In fact, they inspired me to make my first luxury watch purchase, the Rolex Submariner Hulk. Geez, guys, it's Hulk Day today, I guess. Since then, there's been no looking back whatsoever, and I'm hooked. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of this email. I need some advice, please, if you don't mind. And I think I'm getting tired of the accent, so I'm going to take a little swig of water, clear the English right out of my throat. Can't believe you passed on that opportunity, Clyde. I am now looking at purchasing my next watch, and I've put some money away for the Rolex Batman on the Jubilee bracelet. I really like this feature. However, now that it is available from my AD, I am completely unsure about this watch, especially as it will have to be delivered rather than going into the store. Being unable to see it in person, I'm not sure whether the two-tone bezel is doing it for me.
Oh, fuck. Hold on. Sorry.
And the more I look at it on the computer and on YouTube, the less I can see it going with a suit, which unfortunately I'm obliged to wear most of the time for work. I know you own a variation of this watch, having seen it on your channel. What do you think? How does it wear? I'm also aware that the fine detail finishing on the GMT2 have been criticized a lot of late, and I'd be pretty upset if I spent a lot of money on a watch, £7,700 sterling, for it to have these small faults, even if only visible under a macro or a loop. So we're definitely going to talk to you about that, Bruce, because you are the macro king. As you may have gathered, I am more thinking about the style and beauty rather than prestige, financial gain, or as a tool. I'm not looking to flip this watch. I have sourced out two other alternative. Oh, this goes on and on. Guys, learn to give me the cliff notes. I have sourced out two other alternative watches that I do really like. And dare I say they're both Omega and both Seamasters, very different in style. And I'm not going to read you about that. Let's just say one is the 007. Oy. And one is
the titanium one, Mark?
Yeah.
Like the new Bond edition?
Yes, correct.
Okay.
And at £7,300. And the other one is the Omega, the SMP, the one the kid has and I have, and you flipped. I think you flipped it, right, Bruce?
Actually, my dad bought that, and I borrowed it for review.
Oh,
but
nice.
I would like one. I think they're really nice.
All right. Well, then you didn't flip it. Finally, we found a watch that Bruce. Thank you for becoming my favorite YouTuber, spelled in the British way. Perhaps a comparison to the Seamasters. James Owen, Birmingham, England. Jolly old Birmingham, England. So, look.
Wait, how did the British spell YouTuber?
With a U and a tube. So look, okay, first, who on this panel has held a Batman with its black and blue bezel? Kid, have you touched one?
Yeah,
What do you think of it?
I love it. It's a great dress watch to wear with a suit because the polished center links. I mean, it's great.
Stop typing. And Clyde, how do you find it? I know that you've actually tried that watch on with the Jubilee. How do you feel about that?
It's a nice watch. It's a competent watch, but I just feel cold about it, quite frankly. And you forget, I actually did hold one with the briefly.
Yes, but he's looking at the Jubilee rather than the Oyster. So he's looking at the Batgirl rather than the Batman because that's what's current. He's been offered it at the AD. So I have a Batman. He's looking at a Batgirl. Well, first, let's talk about the bezel. So he's worried that the bezel might be too bright and therefore not look formal with a suit. Do you have a response to that, Clyde?
No, there's a little bit of color to that, but on the other hand, we'll get a Submariner if you don't have another color, or get the black dial GMP.
Well, that's what Bruce Williams has. Bruce, you've got the black, but have you ever handled the Batman?
Yeah, I have, and the Batgirl. Actually, funny story. My two friends that work at the authorized dealer, one has a Pepsi, one has a Batgirl, and we got a picture of the Hulk, the Pepsi, and the Batgirl all lined up, just to trigger the internet. But yeah, I've seen the watches in person. I've put them on, and I really like it with the shirt and tie. I know it's a sport watch. It's big. It's kind of ugly.
The Jubilee kind of dresses it up a little bit, though, I think.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you there. But as far as quality control issues, enlighten me on what
Well,
that entails.
I think he's referring to a couple few videos that were made recently. And I don't know, just help me out here. Guy from Just Bluefish Watches put his under extreme macro photography and discovered a burr floating around inside the under the crystal of his recently purchased.
Oh, poor guy.
You know,
he has a sub, right?
Submariner. Yeah. And so it had to go back for service to get that out of there. And every once in a while you come across somebody who posts a macro photograph, like a super high macro photography of something made by Rolex, and there's a little uneven paint or a splotch or something, less than perfect at like 50 times magnification.
Yeah.
I think he should have kept it and named it Aaron.
So I've reviewed a Milgauss, the Z Blue, and that one had this like paint blob. It was done in orange. It was just a little bit of a bulge and imperfection, and you don't notice it until you get super, super close. But I found doing macro video on so many watches, there's no such thing as a perfect watch. At least I haven't experienced it yet. Every watch has something. Funnily enough, it was an Hublot that I think was perfect or close to perfect as I've seen when I was doing my macro video. So if I see something little, even if it's in a luxury watch, that's par for the course. I mean, you're not going to notice it unless you get your little loop out and you're looking. And I think that's a little extreme.
Yeah, James, I would not want to look at you, sir, under a loop.
Mark, let me ask you a question, Mark.
Yes.
How close would you have to get before you noticed a bulge?
Anyway, I'm just saying that I don't think that's a good buy. And here's, I wouldn't worry about looking at it too closely under a loop. Extreme problems of quality control in Rolex are, I gotta say, very few and very far between. But I'm gonna come back. I'm gonna come back right after this super chat to finish talking about that bezel so we can move on, because we have new letters. Tommy D 499, thank you, sir. Clyve, have you taken anything? Have you taken anything for Tourette's soundboard from The Art of the Deal, in which Archie threatens to end it all? Might be a useful reminder.
No.
What's he talking about, Clyde?
No, he's talking about the Archie soundboard.
And when did Archie threaten to end it all?
Threatening to get a jarb.
Yeah.
I'll have to get a real jarb.
That would be fine. That would be great.
To me, it's like when my toddlers, my 3-year-old friends to run away, and you just want to say, okay. I'm
going to hold my breath.
You just hand them a little animal pole and kind of sandwich a kerchief to the end of it and just open the door and just wave bye-bye.
Well, guys, I want to just finish answering that question from James. And the thing about the bezel is that the Batman or Batgirl bezels, the blue portion of it, only shine brightly blue when you are in strong, bright, direct, actual natural sunlight. And then it's really quite brilliant. When you're in the office environment of fluorescent lights or artificial lighting, it almost looks black, right? So it would be almost indistinguishable from the black under artificial lighting. But if you go to the beach or you go outside, then it's going to look strong. So it's a fantastic watch. It sells at a premium. If you were offered it, I think, quite frankly, you'd be a bit of a fool to go buy an Omega instead of that, especially that, James Bond edition. So somewhere in my oeuvre, not in my ovaries, Clyde, but in my oeuvre, which that means the backlog of my work, my videos. I made a few videos about the Batman, and I made a whole video about the color of the bezel. So you want to go back and find that, James, because I take that watch into all sorts of different sunlight, and I show you what it looks like live. Now, guys, we don't know when the Pontiff is going to go on, and right now it is 6:04 on Saturday, May 11th. So
super chat.
So we may have to go off my gosh,
we're good. Let's roll.
Tommy D says he threatens to slash his wrists, and you remind him on the Clyde, you didn't, and you remind him on the proper direction to slash the artery.
Oh yeah, it's like, hey, you go down the tracks, not across the street.
Oh my God, Clyde, you're horrible. Well, listen, our next letter is from our own Nate O, who I know Nate was in the chat room a little while ago. I don't know if you're still here, Nate. If you're still here, raise your hand and wave it around. And Nate O entitles his email. Oh, by the way, if you would like to email and appear on the Mark Goldberg vlog, markgoldberg8@gmail.com. Send in your questions, your comments, your money. Is it an illness or is it a hobby? That's what Nate asks. G'day, Mark, in the Australian fashion. I recall you made a video, or perhaps mentioned in a video, that you get annoyed with watches from time to time. It's exhausting. I get very annoyed. I get upset. Like right now, I'm in a good phase. I'm in the manic phase of the manic depression, so I feel good. But I know exactly what you know what I'm talking about, right, McKenzie?
Yep, absolutely.
Because once in a while, McKenzie will just text me and say, "This is exhausting," and I know what he means. Sometimes it feels like we are searching for the perfect watch, but there always seems to be some kind of flaw with them, just like James in the last letter said. Not so much mechanically, more design or aesthetic wise. What if the watches aren't flawed, Nate? What if it is our brain that can only see the flaws? I end up locking up all my watches in the safety deposit box for a while until I miss them, says Nate. And I made a video about that. That is exactly what to do. Then I get my enthusiasm back until the next cycle of mental illness arrives. I do the exact same thing. There's a lot of times, Bruce, when I have a watch locked up, you'll talk about it in one of your videos or you'll review it, and then I got to run right to the safe and go get it out.
I do what I can, man.
You are feeding.
I'm an enabler.
You are feeding the beast of like thousands of us all around the world. Nate continues, will we ever be satisfied in that hobby? And will we ever be satisfied in this hobby? And in a moment, we're going to go around the panel and ask exactly that question. P.S. I love the channel and your sister channel, Paul Thorpe. PPS, High Rancher and Altar Boy. So once again, we're going to start from youngest to oldest. So Silly the kid, will we ever be satisfied in this hobby?
No, I don't think so. I think half the battle is just going after the next piece in the chase. So it's good to just take a break sometimes.
Now, how long have you had your girlfriend?
4 years.
So 4 years, and you're going steady for 4 years. Is that right?
Yeah.
So guys, he's got to get the thrill of the chase somewhere. And it's horologically speaking, you've chosen watches as for the kill. Clyde, you have commitment issues. That's why you're doing watches instead of wine, women, and song. But let's go to Bruce. Bruce, are we ever going to be satisfied?
I don't think so. If you guys remember when you first got into watches, and for Clyve and Mark, that was back in the 1920s. I was teasing. At least for me. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, Clyde used to check his pocket watch on a biplane.
Laugh all you want to. When my Rolex fell off my Model T, it didn't do a damn thing to it.
Hey, you got me beat there. I'll give you that.
Okay, Clyde, that was very naughty. Be nice to our guests. Well, are we ever going to be satisfied? Are we ever going to be satisfied, Bruce? Continue,
yeah,
please.
So going back to when I was first getting into it, I remember thinking, man, I can't imagine ever spending $1,000 on a watch.
Right.
And then now it's like, oh man, I don't even see $1,000 watch that I want to buy. All the watches I want cost $10,000.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's an end in sight. I think you're always going to be looking at the next watch, the next level, the next step. And part of that is fun and learning to accept that and enjoy that. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's if only I could lock my boyfriend up and just pull him out of the bank deposit vault when I started to miss him.
Or when you wanted to make a deposit.
Clyde, you're horrible. Clyde, we talked about this. We talked about this. Okay, Clyde, are we ever going to be satisfied, Clyde?
Well, see, it depends. Sometimes I think watches just can't be center stage the entire time. Sometimes real life gets involved. I think sometimes the only break I get from horology is when I kind of move on to something else, like looking for a car or suit or antique razor or whatever.
Model Ts.
Well, I got to tell you guys, for me, I know it's a sickness. I know it's an illness. One of my favorite channels is Jeff McMahon. Yeah, Jeff McMahon, and he calls us watch obsessives, and he has really brought to the foreground how much of a disability it is or can be. I think that this hobby literally is a magnet. It attracts a specific personality type, and it is people with varying degrees of obsessive compulsive disorder. Now, I don't mean to belittle OCD, because if it becomes extreme, it can really actually have negative impact on somebody's life, right? They may be able to not even leave the house for fear of germs, or because they have so many rituals that they have to, perform.
They have so many watches, they don't know which one to wear.
That is not even
That's
funny.
real.
Yeah, that is a real syndrome. I used to go to bed worrying about what I was going to wear in the morning. And I've gotten over that a little bit, but boy, that was a terrible thing. Like, it would just influence my sleep as I was falling asleep, trying to plan what would I wear. And
or during the day when you have to rotate like 5 different watches.
Oh, yeah, easy.
I mean, I'm glad I'm not in those days anymore. That's tough.
Yeah.
38. Yeah.
This is number 3 for the day for me. So I let's each of us confess one of our weird habits. I'm going to go first, but one of our weird, shameful things that you really have never confessed really on YouTube, that has to do with your your particular brand of OCD. And I'm going to lead off because this will serve as a good example. I wear a watch to sleep, but that's not the thing. I mean, I think a fair number of people do that. It's a little weird, but it's not super shocking. But here's the thing that I just think is completely goofy and crazy. I wake up bored with the watch. Okay, whatever watch I wore overnight, even if it's one of my favorite watches, when I wake up, I have to take it off because I wore it for a whole night, and now I'm bored with it. So I can't sleep in it and then just continue to wear it, or I won't be excited to wear the watch during the day, which I think is very crazy.
So I got to ask you, Mark, then, when you choose your nighttime watch, is it like a stressful thing now? Like, oh man, if I put this on, I'm not going to like it tomorrow.
Once in a while. Yeah. Okay. That can happen. Yes. That can cause a little bit of a spiral of crazy. If it's a watch that I know I want to wear the next day, like if there's a watch I know I want to wear the next day, I will not wear it the prior night because I'll wake up bored with it. But however, that being said, I only want to wear a watch at night that has spectacular lume, and or maybe a G-Shock that has lume and a light and a backlight, different. I have 2 watches that have tritium tubes. One's a ball watch and one is a marathon. So those often make good nighttime watches too. But I rarely wear the same. Like if I'm going to wear tritium during the day, I use a different one than I wore in the night because I just can't stand to wear it too long. Bruce, what's your weirdness?
Oh shoot! I don't know if I'm weird with watches. I'm just a weird dude in general.
Well, pick something. Give us a little something that little something.
Go to one of the other guys. I still got to think.
Yep, no worries. Doxa, give me the news, kid. What is something weird about you and your watch habit that we didn't know?
Sometimes I just rotate the dive bezel for hours.
Oh, you're a fidget spinner.
Yeah.
But for hours?
Yeah, just like exactly, fidget spinner.
I heard you. Actually, that explains something because I heard it buzzing in the background on a live stream a few days ago.
Yeah.
And it was just going and going.
It's just nonstop.
Yeah, I'll do that. If I'm stressed, like in the dentist's chair. That's another thing. The dentist for me is one of those things I just don't like. So whenever I'm in the dentist chair, I've got the watch off. I've got it in my hands. It's something that I'm playing with and distracting myself with. And I only would bring a watch with a dive bezel because I'm spinning and fidgeting with that in the chair.
I'll take my watch off in a work meeting and spin it around. It's bad.
Yeah. Okay, there's the OCD is strong in this one, Clyde. Clyde, what is something? Well, there are so many things to choose from, but just pick out one weird thing about you and tell us. Watches.
There have been times I've deliberately bought a watch specifically to piss off or annoy or infuriate Archie Luxury.
Actually, that is so true. So, Clyde, you've actually bought a watch specifically to annoy the Pontiff.
Oh, yeah.
And I've actually seen the results on Clyde when the Pontiff. There's been times when the Pontiff has failed to become annoyed, and you find that very disappointing, don't you?
Crushing.
Like the fact that he hates your Parmigiani, you actually like that.
Yeah, but actually, one of the reasons why I always will keep this Omega is that's what really led to the first big rift between the first Cardinal and the Pontiff.
Actually, Random Rob, has put a name to it. He calls it passive aggressive watch buying. I don't think you'd argue with that, would you, Clyde?
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I don't have to it.
Now, Clyde, you completed the Holy Trilogy of watches, which is to say you own an Aldi Mal Piguet, a Patek Philippe, and a Vacheron et Constantin. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Is it fair to say that you completed the Holy Trilogy more to piss off Archie Luxury than anything else? Was that a motivating factor?
It was a strong secondary factor, but I got each watch because I really genuinely liked each watch.
So pissing off the Pontiff, that was just like a happy aside, right?
Oh yeah, exactly.
But you remember when he wasn't pissed off?
The Breitling.
Yeah, it was upsetting to you that he wasn't. Go ahead, Brucey.
So, Clyve, I'm curious, which ones of the Holy Trinity do you have? I'd love to know.
Well, okay. Now I've got the Aquanaut, but I've got the 5066 in steel.
Okay.
I've got the Vacheron Constantin Overseas first generation.
Okay.
And simply because I love the dial on it.
That's got the curve writing, right? Kind of in a half moon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, nice.
And also I've got the Overseas Navy themes on a bracelet.
Sorry, say that one again.
Overseas Navy themes, but on a bracelet.
Okay, cool.
Well, guys, we're going to close out the show with one more email. Don't get nervous, Clyde. I know you want to stay on in Rebel Stream, but we do have one more.
He had not even announced. This is not even Rebel Streaming.
Yes, I see. Understand.
Mark, I thought of my weird thing.
Oh, good. What is it, Bruce?
I got a watch box, this wood watch box. It's got 8 slots. Mm-hmm. And each watch has its own slot. And I can't put my Hulk in my GMT Master slot. It has to be in its own one. It's super weird. That's my weird thing.
So it's like you have a dollhouse, and each of the dolls has their own chair, and like at the dinner table in the dollhouse, but you can't swap them around because that would be like wrong.
Yes, exactly.
Okay,
exactly.
I'm so relieved to know that I'm not the only crazy person on this panel.
Not at all.
There's definitively something wrong with all of us. It's exhausting sometimes. Exhausting. Did you ever realize, oh gosh, I put one in the wrong spot? Have you ever done it just to see what would happen?
Yeah, and I have to flip it back. I have to switch them.
Have you ever left the house?
No.
Yeah, so that would be really bad because you'd have to go home, wouldn't you?
I would.
Or you'd have to call home. You wouldn't call home, honey? No. Would you mind?
No, I don't think I'm that bad, but I'm a little bad.
Is there a seating chart with placemats and little name cards?
I should get a labeler and do little micro labels.
Yes. Yeah, that would be perfect. Because then if you mess it up, you could call your wife. But then you'd also have to put stickers on the back of the watches.
Yeah, so she wouldn't know which is which.
All right. Well, guys, we have one more letter that I want to read to you. It's from, I believe it's from Germany, because it's from Kathy und Markus. And Marcus says, "Hello, Mark. Just following your recent video where the guy had been offered a red Sea Dweller by Goldsmiths. You may remember that, guys, in yesterday's stream, a viewer was very concerned because Goldsmiths, an authorized dealer in, I believe it is London, called him up and said that they wanted him to pay for the watch with a credit card. He was at the top of the list now, and that they would deliver it to him as soon as the Corona ban on opening the store was lifted. And he was concerned that whether Goldsmiths would go bankrupt and not actually deliver him the watch, or was it a fraud? Marcus goes on to say there is a slim chance that Goldsmith goes under during the crisis, but the more serious threat is from people pretending to call from the AD, promise watches to them, and then take the money on different accounts. So my advice to the guy would be, is if he decides to go for it, is to make sure that the call really was from Goldsmiths. So he should call their headquarters and follow the track back, meaning track the guys down. All the best, Marcus. That is a good point, but here's the confusing thing for me. I don't know how the credit laws work in the United Kingdom, but here in the United States, if you were to defraud somebody on their credit card, the owner of that credit card would easily be able to reverse the charges by just by claiming fraud. And this is why, guys, by the way, if you ever have any concern whatsoever, do not use your debit card. Use your credit card. Most people don't know your credit card and your debit card, they both may have a Visa or MasterCard logo on them, but they are governed by a completely different set of laws. And you get way more credit protection via your credit card than your debit card. Way more. So, words to the wise.
So, and that applies to all sorts of situations. Say, for instance, if you
here we go.
Want a $500 super chat to cut their
a $500 super chat for what? For what?
Nothing.
I see. Are you suggesting that the people super chat the pontiff and then claim fraud? Oh, I know what you're talking about. Okay, now I know what you're talking about. I think we better explain to the punters. There have been one or two occasions in which Archie has accepted large sums of money with a promise to perform a specific action, and I can only really think of two. Clyde, what were the two things that and he's reneged on both of them? What were they, Clyde?
Hey! We don't use that language.
Come along, tell us.
Okay. Well, the horn removal.
He did. He accepted money to remove. Yeah.
How much? UK trip.
And what?
The UK trip.
Oh no! Then there's a third one. I forgot that. That's right. He was going to go beat up Grobnob.
Right.
He was going to cut his horns off, but there was a third one. Clyde, don't you remember that one?
Refresh my memory.
He was going to eat to the point. He was going to eat or drink to the point.
Vomit on camera. I forgot about that one. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, he's done none of those things, so he may owe a bit of money back. Boys and girls, I want to thank you for having joined us, Clyde. I think we could wind it down now, don't you, Clyde?
There's no announcement. It's wide open.
Yeah, I understand, but did you have a topic, Clyde? Did you want to lead us forward? Have you prepared something for today's show?
Well, in keeping with the standards of this program, no.
Come on, man. I've supplied, let me see how long we've been. I've supplied 52 minutes and 35 seconds of moderated, keenly honed, horological discussion with a minimum of shenanigans.
Okay.
McKenzie, I know that's you typing. Stop it. You're the only one of us that can type.
What did you see Paul Thorpe's video?
Not yet.
Okay.
Should I?
Well, he's more or less saying that he believes that YouTube is their algorithms unfairly killing off watch channels? Are they unfairly, even if not deliberately, channeling people to one channel and not another, irrespective of the quality of the content?
What do you think his point was?
No, I don't know. I think he was asking about it because he was the other Ronald Khalil or whatever. He basically talked about one of the best watch videos he's ever seen in his life.
Yeah, wait, what's his name? Khalil. Is that his first name? I know exactly who. David Khalil.
David Khalil, yes.
He has a very nice channel, and he was on a growth track for a while, but then he plateaued. However, David quit making videos for a hugely long period of time, and you have to keep on going. Bruce, you know a lot about the algorithms. You've done extremely well. And I'm going to just say before I throw it to Bruce, give you a minute to collect your thoughts. Bruce does beautifully edited, beautifully shot, well thought out videos. I wing all of mine. I'll be honest. I don't put a whole lot into it. And Bruce, every time I look at your videos, what I see is thoughtfulness. And I see time. I see effort. But
I appreciate that.
Yeah. What do you think? what does it take to succeed with the algorithms these days?
Regular posting, stick on a schedule, and your content has got to be interesting. I think maybe with Paul Thorpe, I don't know, years ago when he first burst onto the scene, he was really doing something new that no one else was doing from the perspective of a dealer, and tackling a lot of questions that people have. So he rose pretty quick. And I don't know, I don't watch him anymore. So I'm not sure where he's at now, but I don't think there is bias on YouTube or Google's part. I think it's all market driven. It's all viewer driven. You got to have good content, and that's either going to connect with people or it won't. And so that's why you see some channels come out of nowhere and they pass 100,000 because they get that right formula and it connects with a vast majority of people. So, you got to find your niche, and you got to keep going.
You got to be very steady. You got to just keep going, no matter how painful it is. You got to keep going. And honestly, like, I think the best thing to do, and I want to critique Paul a little bit. I think Paul was terrific when he didn't give a damn, when he didn't do it for the money, when he did it for the love of communicating with people. I thought he was at his very best. And I feel like if you overly focus on the money, then the originality and the sincerity kind of drains right out of your content, and I think people will notice that. Another
thing that about Archie for years.
Well, yeah, but like when I got with Archie.
Oh wait, you mean Paul Thorpe?
Yes, when I got with Archie, though, let's swing it around to your favorite topic, Clyde. When I first got a load of Archie, his subscriber rate was about 25,000, and that was like 5 years ago. And of course, it's doubled since then. But he should have 100,000, not 50,000, not 60,000. But I think that Archie got lazy, with a lot of his content, and he just started doing a lot of repetition. There were some shenanigans, though. I'm not making any accusations whatsoever, but there were shenanigans that affected the Paul Thorpe channel, and here's what I mean. Paul, had like 15,000 subscribers. Quit making videos for a really long time because he alleged that he had been physically threatened and yada yada. Anyway, when he came back as a so-called retired watch dealer, he started making videos again. They were good. His channel jumped to like 100,000 subscribers in like 3 months. Okay, and then he took the subscriber number off of his channel. See, when you make content like I
There it is, guys.
7.4. Yep. I'd like to be the first to announce it was 7.4 earthquake in Utah. Anyway, then as a content provider, you get to choose whether or not you let your subscribers see how many subscribers you have. And Paul's visible subscription numbers went from like 15,000 to bam, 100,000. Then they were hidden, which means he hid them. And then like a month later, they were 15,000. Okay. So I don't know how that happens. Well,
you also got to look at the views. What are they getting consistently? If you have 100,000 subs and you're getting 3,000 views a video, something ain't right,
Right. And, and so what I think is, I don't know how, like YouTube, they figure that stuff out eventually, and maybe there's penalties for that. I don't fully know. But David Khalil, I think the only thing that went wrong with David Khalil's numbers are that he quit making videos for a while. And David, if you're listening to this video, or if somebody tells David, just make videos. You're brilliant at it. And just keep doing it. David has a really good perspective on watches as a currently employed watch dealer. And actually, Paul Thorpe knows more about Rolex than I will ever know. And I think, Paul, you're at your best when you just talk about the subject, which is Rolex. And Paul, you're at your worst when you try and squeeze money out of YouTube, okay, which is what you've done. If you need money that bad, then go back into watch dealing, okay? Because YouTube is no place to get rich. You do YouTube for the love of it. I make a whopping, I don't care if I'm making $200 a month off of YouTube or $600 or $700 off of YouTube. And some months it's one, and some months it's the other. I don't care. I just do it for the love of the game. And I am going to wrap up and then give everybody a closing statement. But here's my wrap up closing statement. we are not well. It is exhausting. That's why we do this. But I can absolutely say the very best part of horology and watch collecting for me has been just joining this tribe of brilliant, crazy, whacked out people, that I am associated with. We are of like mind. We get to know and share and talk to and make friends with a wide variety of people who we would have never otherwise met. So at the end of the day, it's really not, I do love the hunk of metal, the little machine on my wrist, I do. But I love you people out there in YouTube land even more. Here we are in the middle of a worldwide crisis, okay? Unemployment in Australia, according to John Suckerhorn, is like 30%. Right now in the United States, it's cresting 20%. We don't know what's about to happen to our health, our welfare, our economy. We don't know. Yet there are 113 people in this room and 4 people on this panel. And I'm so glad that we're doing this together because this is what it's really all about. It's less about the machines and it's more about the people who built them, love them, made them, sell them, obsess about them, and and all of that. So, Kid, what's your wrap up? We're going to go in our age order. What is your wrap up, Kid? Say it again, McKenzie. We can't hear you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't really top that. That was awesome. But just enjoy your watches and try to be content with them. Just enjoy them.
It's all about enjoyment, kids. Isn't that profound? Just enjoy your watches. Bruce Williams.
I would say I would love for more people that are watch fans to maybe, start podcasts or start YouTube channels because there really isn't much of a difference between me, Mark, Clyve, McKenzie. We're all watch fans and we all have a different perspective. And I enjoy interacting with you guys and with other people that share the same love. So I'd like to see more. I think it would be great. We're all in the same sickness together. So might as well embrace it, right?
Bruce was one of those people and still is one of those people who was so encouraging to me when I first started. It didn't matter how awful my first videos were. There was always a word of encouragement from you, Bruce, in the comments or by email. And that made a big difference. So any of you who are interested in starting, markgoldberg8@gmail.com or talk to Bruce in his comments and we will give you constructive ideas and we will subscribe to your channels if you start something. Well, it's up to the oldest member of the pack now, Clyde Watch Wrangler. What would you like?
That's you. You're 10 years older than I am.
Yeah, I know. But work with me, Clyde, not against me. What is it?
Working against you is my whole thing.
No, actually, Clyde and I might appear at odds on the on this channel, but as soon as we get over to Archie's channel, we are stuck together. We're like 2 peas in a pod. We're like 2 horns on one head, right, Clyde? Exactly. We pack up. Clyde, what would you like to say to the people in the way of inspirational, passionate goodness? Leave us with a few words of wisdom. Like, what would you tell one of your clients right before facing the death penalty?
Actually, let me address the audience. Please super chat another $25 if you'd like for us to stay on for another half an hour.
No, we're not staying on.
$25 can keep this party going for half an hour.
We have to get off, Clyde. The Pontiff will be on within 30 minutes.
Oh yeah, he hasn't announced yet.
I know. We know what he'll do. He'll come on at 7.
So that gives us 30 minutes. So guys,
I'm out of steam, man. I made a beautiful, passionate summation of. We gotta end on that. Otherwise, it's gonna be anticlimactic.
And I'm totally disregarding your summation, and I'm flying forward.
Okay. Well, see this finger, Clyde?
No, it's actually looking.
This finger is going for the button. Here we go, Clyde. Say goodbye to the people.
No.
Count us out, McKenzie. Count us out.
Don't
3,
do it. Don't do
2,
it. Don't.
1, end.
No, not end. Come on, start over. You know what you're supposed to really end with.
Paint the sky your favorite color.